All right, Microsoft out of the gate. So, what do you guys expect?
I feel like I have, and I am totally willing and happy to be surprised, but I feel like the last 2 years of Microsoft events at E3 has set a pretty low like bar of expectation. You know, like when for the last 2 years I've gone in there being like, all right, let's find out more about like the exclusive games on Xbox. Like why, what's so great about owning this console? What can I play on it? And I feel like the last 2 years have been way more focused on the hardware angle of things. So then it's like, I don't know, like I feel like my prediction is the most likely scenario is Microsoft trots out another Gears of War, trots out another Halo, and they're like, you can play them both on Xbox One X or Windows Store.
Best case scenario.
Are they both this year? Yeah, that would be a really good case scenario.
Yeah, no, I suppose.
I don't think so. I don't think we're seeing Halo 6 at this show. Like, they released that statement on Tuesday where they're like, hey, just so you know, 343 is working on a Halo 6. I don't think they would have...
Except they didn't even say Halo 6.
What did they say?
No, it's just like, yeah, we're working on the next Halo project.
They wouldn't have said that if they were close to like the grand unveiling. So that makes me believe that they're just getting out ahead of E3 to say like, Halo's still in development. Don't look over there right now, though.
Maybe.
That's the way I feel
guess
about it.
My point is, I mean, I think either of those games would be like our possibilities. But I guess my point is that like, I don't see that as the arena that we're going to see some big new like, oh, finally they're really getting going with their like third party support or exclusives or whatever.
Well, I think maybe you're right, but I do think that Microsoft, I went back and looked at their press conference for E3 2017, and they showed a lot more games than you remember. They're running stuff down. Even like indie games are getting the time on the stage. Like, Last Night was up there last year. They showed Darwin Project, stuff like that. And it kind of feels a little bit like early generation Sony and PlayStation 4, where it's just all the indies you can handle. And so, especially without Microsoft pushing the hardware angle this year, in theory, I assume they're not releasing another Xbox, but the One X took up so much time. They opened the show with it last year, right?
Yeah.
So stripping that all out, if they just use that time for more third-party games, more smaller games that we haven't seen before, that could be cool.
Yeah, I guess it could. I think part of why I'm preemptively lukewarm on this, just has to do with like, as cool as all like any of those indie games might end up being. And I didn't mean to imply that they didn't show any games last year either. But like part of E3 and what really gets people like excited and pumped up is like sort of the spectacle and the surprise of it.
Right.
And like that's where I see, it's like a montage of a bunch of cool looking indie games, and like a revolving Forza car up on the stage isn't really going to be like, I can't wait for that.
If they go and lean hard on third party overall, you know what I mean? And that's where some of those like there's publishers out there that don't have room on their own press conference stage and don't have a press conference.
Yep, for
that
sure.
could be huge.
So we could see Call of Duty, something like that.
Well, I would think so. Like, okay, probably they held Blackout back, like the Battle Royale mode, from their event. Would they be saving that for E3?
Maybe.
But Sony has had deals with Call of Duty in the last 3 years, I believe. And so if that trend's continuing, which I believe it is,
probably will,
then that wouldn't be there. Like last year, Microsoft had a big presence for Anthem from EA.
Okay.
So I don't know if they're more in bed with EA at this point and try and split that difference, maybe show a longer demo of Anthem. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe some Ubisoft stuff. So maybe like Assassin's Creed, maybe.
Yeah,
or
they
like
did,
Splinter Cell. There was that leak that could be a real thing. Like maybe.
Right.
I could see them snagging on a third party like Mortal Kombat. Maybe that's where they show it off first.
Oh,
yeah, I think
Mortal
like the
Kombat's
Warner Brothers
due.
is a good bet. Like those big publishers that don't have press conferences, I bet Microsoft is just dishing out cash to get them on there. Yeah, but that's Mortal Kombat's a really good one. We should talk about that Walmart Canada thing, right? Because there was that leak a while back, and on it was
Splinter Cell.
Splinter Cell.
That's the one I'm probably most excited about.
I could see
personally,
Microsoft
but
landed that on their stage.
There's
Ubisoft
also
have something
Borderlands
else.
3 on there though too.
Right. So it might be a little fishier than we thought originally. We don't really know.
Well,
that.
I mean, Rage 2 was on there, and that ended up being a real
correct.
thing.
And I didn't mean to say Borderlands 3 disqualifies it. It's like maybe there's a presence for, because like I know didn't Randy Pitchford go on and say like, oh no, we're not showing it or something,
right?
Or it doesn't exist or whatever, which I don't buy for 1 second.
I mean, it doesn't even preclude the idea of like, hey, Microsoft shows the first trailer for Borderlands, but it's not at the show. Just, hey, by the way, Borderlands 3. And then that's that game's entire presence.
That would be weird if they had Rage 2 and Borderlands 3 though, both at the show.
Yeah, why not? Well, I mean, I think 2K is an interesting outlet to get some big 2K games up there since they don't have that press conference and stuff. The other one was Gears of War 5 was also in that Walmart Canada leak. It seems fast, but maybe. I don't know if that's going to be the show closer.
2 years,
2
right?
years, yeah.
It's a little bit of a quick turnaround, but
they've done it before. Like, I mean, maybe it wasn't, Coalition working on that first trilogy, but that seemed to be the cycle for the first 3.
Yeah. I guess I'm just used to, and I'm waiting for the Halo. So if they don't do Halo and they jump in with Gears of War, that's where the timing gets weird.
I think something weird's going on with Halo. Yeah, they must be reworking it or something because of the reception from 5, I'm guessing.
Maybe, or they just want more time in the oven for something bigger. Yeah, I have no idea. But Forza was another one on that list. Forza Horizon 5, as the list put it, which doesn't make sense. But in theory, it's a year.
I mean, there's going to be a Forza on the stage, right?
Yeah. And it's going to be the Horizon branch, but maybe they're going to rename it and not have it be Horizon anymore. I don't know. How far can you go with the Horizon sub-brand? Once we get to number 4 with that, it seems like it's pushing it.
I know some people who like the Horizon series better, though.
Oh, I for sure do.
So.
Yeah.
Well, I think he's more thinking along the lines of like Forza Horizon, Pacific Drift or whatever.
Totally.
Okay,
yeah. Or
sure.
something different like that. But I'm looking forward to that. That could be fun.
Yeah.
Microsoft?
I'm also looking forward to, I know, Joe, you said the sizzle reel, like, how exciting is that? But, like, I'm looking forward to, like, what's going to be, like, that next weird indie game like Cuphead that you're like, well, what is that? I want to know more about that. Like, that could turn into something big. So
I think
I'm
that's a good avenue for it.
Especially with indie games, you don't see them coming a lot of times. You don't see the indie game with your name on it. And then here is an awesome indie game that's coming out in a few months.
Yeah. Crackdown, they're going to show it? Make time for it?
Man,
They've done so much.
I mean, I wonder if, well, from what I saw of that game last year, I think that they need to give that more time.
Or I don't know if it's press conference wow moment worthy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it 2 or 3 years ago that they first showed that trailer?
It was longer than that.
It was like
Crackdown 3 was like launch of Xbox One X. I'm sorry, 1 period.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's been a while, but last year you could actually play it, and it seemed people were like, okay, this is maybe a little older feeling than I expected. It's from Sumo, which is a bizarre collaboration there. But what about, let's see, what else is there?
The Remedy guys, you think they'd be ready to show off what they're working on? I know they're not necessarily they're not necessarily a Microsoft studio, but they did publish Quantum Break. So.
Yeah, could be. Maybe they have a partnership.
Or maybe another Alan Wake or another new game.
Maybe. The odds of a Sea of Thieves social montage.
Oh, yeah.
Of a bunch of streamers at the start, like, oh, I love Sea of Thieves. This is wacky. Whoa.
100%.
And then they announce like an expansion or something.
Yeah. There's going to be something Sea
100%
related, yeah.
Okay. I know you guys are still enjoying hitting the high sales out there, right, crowd?
Earlier this year, we invited gamers from around the world.
Right. I can see it.
Get their sea legs on.
That's Microsoft, everybody.
Well, one last thing I wanted to mention is I think to what Joe said earlier about there being more hardware-related announcements, I would be super excited to see them announce that like some sort of like platform thing, like, hey, all your Xbox, the Xbox backwards compatibility is now on PC or something like that.
Yeah, you're totally right.
Some like make good with like their audience of like we're making our feature set even better than ever, and just
totally that seems like a great avenue too. Boy.
I think there's definitely something with backwards compatibility. I don't know about it's like you can play those games on PC now.
What else would it be? They've already ripped off every other Band-Aid, and it's great.
I don't know.
Just make the full transition so you don't have to buy one anymore.
Backwards compat games, are they part of Game Pass?
I believe so.
They already are? Okay.
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah, but some sort of industry announcement like that. That's a good choice. Next one is Sony. That was just a clip from a larger show called The Game Informer Show. You can find it on iTunes, Google Play, or GameInformer.com. We take the fun opportunities and exclusive information from Game Informer magazine and boil it into a show that airs every Thursday with exclusive cover story information, developer interviews, a lot of fun stuff. So come love games with us.